That's not the angle I was expecting. And also, I get that you want a nice AP jungler, even with the Orianna there. I think an AP jungler with the amount of AD that you already have in your team is completely fine. But this does feel like a pick to me that in terms of what your composition doesn't provide that much. The laning setup isn't that great. Hoya, when he's in Mega, you have an opening, but that's pretty much it. Lava, not great. Bot side, obviously okay, but trying that into a fresh lane is always a little bit harder. And they had such a nice teamfight theme going. And then Italy doesn't necessarily fit into that as well.
I kind of would have liked something like a Volaberry, you know?
Oh, honestly, yeah.
Something that can dive onto the Zoe and the Aphelios. Might not have been fantastic against the Trundle, but I feel like it offers some early game pressure as well to potentially get something going on your own. But either way, this is what we're going to see here from the side of Gen G. Yes, that is Zoe back into the mid lane. And yes, that is someone playing Nidalee that is not Peanut. Umpty going to jump onto this one.
Biosh explained it as well, okay?
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's Umpty's first game of summer on the Nidalee. So, curious to see how it works out.
I can see only two ways. I can see only two ways, Val.
There's no middling.
This is no.
There's no middling Nidalee.
This is there's no middling Nidalee. This is the final game of the split. So Umpty just dive level 2. Either you go like 15-0, you know, go out with an incredible performance, or I don't know, who am I kidding? It's going to be another slow game that isn't decided until like 30 minutes in.
So you're saying it's a middling Nidalee?
I guess it is. The one thing that the Nidalee does provide, BD is not even scared.
So
they
close.
don't know.
Yet so far away. Oh.
No.
Okay. Spots it, but now you land a bubble. And Trundle's not going to go pillar first, but you have Viego here for the stun, and Umpty just decides, okay, I'll just die. Well, maybe it won't be a middling Nidalee after all. As she will be a little bit late to that red. Not too much, but definitely a fantastic start for Gen G.
BDD is now a Zoe that went bubble first. That part is not great in terms of your early laning, but you get a kill on Rascal, the man that, yeah, I'd say it's worth. Definitely think that's the case. And yeah, just a really nice read there. And also as Umpty, you're going to feel a little bit bad about that. You're standing there the whole time, and you see like the oh, never mind. Bubble's busted.
Bubble's actually the way to go.
Oh, the electrocute proc as well. They're getting a lot of damage in early. And they know Umpty's pathing, right? They had the ward there. I think he's changed the sweeper and then cleared it out, which is nice. Umpty also going for the Gathering Storm immediately, which I can always appreciate. And
no, I think he went Scorch, actually.
No. Wait, are you I'm fairly certain you went Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. Scorch would be very upsetting to me, but
maybe what I saw was Absolute Focus. That would make sense.
It could be. I was
when I saw what I thought was Scorch, I'm like, what?
Immediately?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's not.
That's not what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, clear. Looking for the timing window here.
The hook is gonna miss. Maybe with all that aggression, they know. No, a little bit slow on the draw, and the light goes in, and this is going to be the flash onto Henna with the pillar coming in. And hello, have you met Press the Attack? Let me introduce you, says Clid. Easy kill onto Henna. They get the flash out of the light as well, and seems like Gen G, with a lead this big, things are looking pretty good for them for the early game.
And exactly what you're looking. Oh no. Oh, I thought it was going to go in. But with the light still in the general vicinity, Henna coming back, that is always going to be a risky proposition.
여기 있다. 수면 한번 볼게. 얘 와박하고 빵. 나 기다려. 스턴. 나이스.
Yeah. So you
기분
get
좋아?
to see.
기분 좋아?
Do you feel good? Does that feel good? Are you happy with that? And yeah, I mean, it's hard not to be. Interesting voice comms here. This is a very interesting pathing by Clid to just skip his entire bottom side of the jungle and pick up a kill.
It's a really nice read, especially considering that they know Umti's pathing, right? Like they have a relative idea of where he is. And with that, and the amount of CC they have available on bot side, like it's just a free pickup. And even if Umti is there, you're so strong early on here as the Trundle. Also, I think Henna there, cleansing maybe expecting the pillar, trying to cleanse the slow specifically, or he thought he had heal. It's one of the two interpretations possible there, as Rascal hasn't even back yet. He hasn't actually spent the money that he got on his first blood. So do with that knowledge as you what you will.
As you watch him dominate the
lane.
That's
that was implied, Feltz, but I'm glad that you're spelling it out, because it is indeed what is happening here.
Yeah.
Oh, Clid here again. He's sneaking in.
Yeah,
he's in the brush.
Could definitely be some kind of like flay into, yeah, here comes the lantern. But this time, Umpty is here, and they're looking to turn it around, but the light will be the first one to go down 2-on-2, but now the kiting power of Henna is too much, and the spear lands. That's going to be another kill, and the flash coming in from Umpty, and how about another one, as the double will go the way of Umpty. Landing that stun onto the Nidalee here. Rascal is trying to clean this one up, and Henna says, I am getting away from this. I do not want any piece of that Viego. And so Rascal at least will be able to pick up another kill.
Yeah, picks up a kill and picks up a huge wave here. Immediately Clid responds, rotates towards topside to try and pick up as much as he possibly can there. As he's just gonna let it die.
Yeah, he's really just prioritizing getting back to lane over missing that entire wave. I mean, he got like 1 minion, and he missed 2 of the melee minions, and then he just skipped all the range. I mean, he picks up the XP, so there's that, but of course, missing a lot of gold. And Clid was already up on the top side, catching that 1 wave, so pretty interesting.
I wonder what the call was. Maybe trying to get a specific manipulation on the wave there to try and stack it up as big as possible. Or, I don't know what the plate status is. No, it wouldn't explain it either, right? Maybe if you can get like enough damage to take a plate, like in that context it would make sense, but yeah, must have just been a call for tempo, as that is actually 2 kills on the Nidalee now. So Umpty is still doing what he was looking to do, and this is of course the result of, I think this 3v3 is playable if you don't throw all your damage into an aftershocked Eclipsed of Leona, because now you're using all your cooldowns.
Yeah.
And I don't really think they have the opportunity there, because the moment they see Umpty, they already know this is, we've committed, right? Like, it is just a split second too late. Nicely played then here by Rascal. If he had his ultimate here, if he just was level 6, would feel very good here. But you don't want to run the risk of Nidalee, you know, getting into brush, getting that Nidalee movement spin just running away from you, pouncing, and then you get hit by a volley, and then you don't get your kill, because now Rascal's 2-0. He's gone back to lane, and Hoya's life is going to be very uncomfortable. But hey, Umpty rather is, I'm saying Peanut, right? Because like, as you pointed out, it just feels,
oh, that was cool. Not gonna land though. And
he has ult.
Yeah. Smite went the way of Clid, by the way. He does pick up the red buff. Unless some kind of spear landed. Doubt it. As now, the Trundle and the Nidalee just hanging out up on the top side. Clid on vision, doesn't seem to care. Soya is low enough. Just really trying to get in there. It's not always the easiest. That was a really nice backwards boomerang coming in from Hoya. I don't see that all the time, but can't expect it from Gnar extraordinaire Hoya.
You wonder whether they were attempting to get a little bit more done than they did. This is happening on Vision. Not sure if they want to actually try and contest, as there we see Hawkswood coming through. Will affirm it again. Hoya does have Mega Knife. They can wait that out. They might be fine. Yeah, ultimates are available. Everyone is rotating. There comes the arrow.
Second honk shot comes in. The arrow does land, and you can see that Hoya does not commit to going in for the Gnar play. Doesn't get his jump blocked by the pillar. That was a little bit close. He kind of got dragged out of the air there, but at the end of the day, Gen G, they kind of just get away with taking down that Rift Herald pretty free.
And that is a big one, because what we have seen in this series is that if Gen G play from a lead, they're looking great. It's when they're behind that it starts the worry starts to set in. They start making forceful plays they don't really need to, and especially with a composition like this where you have a Zoe that is always going to be very happy when you have a lead, you have the vision, and you're able to just freely throw out as many bubbles as possible. And you have a Viego who just needs one kill, just a single one. Oh my god,
Whoa.
Satisfying.
Oh man, can we get a replay of
Yeah,
that? Like,
please.
I don't care about this trade here. Let's get a replay of the bottom lane CS.
Jonastron would do that. He does like...
He is probably calling for it just right now, just like me.
Oh, that was great. As yeah, just gonna go and clear the wave. Cooldown on your ultimate as Gnar is so low anyway, that doesn't really matter. And I wonder, Gen G now, lead on Rascal, not really able to spread it to the rest of the map yet. PDD, far forward, has flash, but no defensive summoner.
Yeah, that was an opportunity to drop down that solar flare, but they're waiting for a little bit more. Flash available here on BDD. There it is this time, and now they'll go for it, waiting for the shockwave first. But problem is, Lava is slept. That does mean that throughout that entire Leona CC, Lava wasn't putting in damage. BDD does have to flash, though, at the end of the trade.
I think they're a little crisper on the execution there. They can just 100% stun chain him, maybe try and go for the solar flare the moment that the portal jumps gets used, because you know 100% where she's going to be.
Yeah.
BDD might still flash out, and you might just get the summoner, so the result might not change, as this first Drake gonna give them. It's a Cloud Drake, it's the first Drake of the game. Not the end of the world, especially as you are still looking at an angle to try and place this Rift Herald. As Gen G, I'm voting Rascal. I think getting Rascal more fed is great, and Clit is pathing towards top, so hopefully he has the same idea. Rascal also, just teleport back to lane. Take down this Gnar. Surely that's what's about to happen. Oh, okay. They swap.
Interesting.
Ooh.
They already got the Rift Herald.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of time for Henna. Actually picks off that one plate down on the bottom side, and now with 3 people up on the top side, they're gonna see the Thresh. Just clearing out the ward. And now Clid just trying to drop down this Rift Herald 3v1, but you see the rotation is coming in from the side of Freda. Brion, Umti, and Delight are here. So now it is a bit more difficult to force this Rift Herald. They might still drop it down for a couple of plates.
Yeah, and they will. I figured they were going to try and go for a specific timing play there, but with the ample amount of time, as well as the complete lack and Rascal showing up in that bot side lane, not that hard to read. Freda Brion respond appropriately, and ooh, even that one charge was a little bit contentious. Pick it up, give the gold to Ruler instead. It's Rascal finds Mini Hoya.
Yeah. A little hop comes out. Probably going to secure that Scuttle Crab, so still a little win for Rascal, who is very annoying. Sleep is going to land here. Level 10 to 9. Lava getting burst down a little bit. Those sparkles being very annoying. And he will have to leave his lane. Gen G using a lot of this lane pressure to just get inside the jungle. Life and Clid both here. Umti has to flash out of his own jungle. Definitely not a great feel for Freda Brion.
And we haven't talked as much about BDD. I might not get the time. It's Mega Bossful. He's fine. But this is a result. The way that Clay can just move in there, can just force the flash on Umti, on how well BDD's been doing on this Zoe. And it's similar to Hoya in the second game. It's not flashy.
Oh, actually trying to get on top of Rascal here. The sun comes in and a flash. Actually, after the dash, I think he was fine to dodge the house, but either way, still a big win for Hoya in the side lane, who's up a level. He's got a Nidalee around. Looks to be a little bit of a trade of turrets, as Ruler will get all of these plates. That is actually pretty huge for the Aphelios in this game.
Especially considering the game that was previously had by Ruler, right? And this is there is another teleport available, so Rascal will be fine here. Can also clear the wave. But I think funneling all the gold on the Aphelios makes sense considering it's Ruler, but at the same time, I don't know how big the impact that the Aphelios should have in these fights is going to be. Because if you look at who he's playing into, Umpty, Lava, and Hannah are all going to try and stay as much out of the Aphelios range as possible. Whereas if BDD finds a single pick and Rascal can pop off, that gold is going to be very valuable. Especially with, we've seen Rascal Viego. Yes, he almost got solo killed by Hoya, which, again, says so much about what kind of player Hoya has been. And as this is the last Fred Brian game of the year for them, I think Hoya has been a player that has really developed over the course of this year. There's the obvious stories. I think Lava is the biggest one. There's a reason why we've nicknamed him the Law King now. And he's cashing in on a lot as well. I think the Light has had an incredible year considering that he came in as a rookie player. But Hoya also went from being, sure, a weak side top laner, didn't get attention, but then he died time and time again, and he lost lane, and yes, some of it was to contribute to the fact that he didn't really get any attention ever.
Never.
Never. No, it was, well, like 55%, like, forever alone percentage would ended up like just not getting any attention from your jungler ever at all, like any form of proximity basically. But yes, of course, like this is on some of his trademark picks and he was always good on those. But still, it's cool to see that that has kind of been like a quiet little transformation because it's on Fred and it might go unnoticed. But it's still such a different look from the Hoya that we saw at the beginning of the split. Look back at the Snarl plays we saw in the last game.
Yeah, it's definitely a really nice story for him, and I hope he can bring it into 2022 as well.
Yeah.
Very curious to see how his career is going to develop. And yeah, we've seen great stuff from a lot of the players here on the side of Fred Brian, so definitely some stuff to look forward to in the future. Here in this game, Gen G going to throw down the second Rift Herald. Trundle Pillar annoying as ever, but actually Ruler takes the most damage. They will have to back away. Rascal also is backed off of that one, as now BDD has to flash the arrow. Both Nidalee and Ashe, very annoying. And Orianna, by the way, very annoying for the Zoe to play into.
And Ruler now trying to sustain back off the wave. Will be able to do so. Fortunately, also Severum and Crescendum available. Great for a possible upcoming fight. Hoya doesn't have Mega Bar, so this Drake surely going to be gone. But you do see the threat, and this is the moment where, like, okay, I see you, Auntie. I get the Nidalee pick. Especially if you go for a build, well, maybe go for the Horizons focus second, right, where you really opt into exclusively the I am going to throw spears, and that is my job, and that's what I'll do, set up for the rest of my team.
Yeah.
Kind of playstyle into an Aphelios. Don't actually mind it at all.
No, it's great into Aphelios. It's great into Zoe, too.
Yeah.
Because you know exactly where she's going to be. She almost... I don't even want to go as far as to call it a self-route, but you definitely... It's very predictable. Where she's going to, where she's going to hop back to, and it makes landing spears and arrows so much easier, and shockwaves and stuff like that. So, and solar flares, which we mentioned before. So,
I love how it's like high impact this, high impact that,
and also Gnar. Like he's got a boomerang.
There's so many.
Yeah, he can jump in. Actually, that's a play we've seen a lot of times as well. Not even memeing, like the Gnar. Sees the Zoe hop forward, immediately jumps and flashes in and ults the Zoe back into the team or against a nearby wall. It's a very difficult game for the Zoe to play, is what we're trying to say. And there's a lot of tools for Fred Brian to deal with that champion specifically.
On the flip side, Gen G still the lead, have a great teamfight composition if they can get some preliminary poke going, similar as Fred Brian though. And while I think their wombo combo potential is not nearly as threatening, they do have a lot of blow-up power, right? Like, if you can just find a single person and the Viego can pop off, if Ruler stays alive throughout a teamfight, if Rascal stays alive throughout a teamfight, you're looking very, very good. and you just want to try and stay in the siege positions, but then the spears come through.
All right, here we go. Not able to proc that aftershock for a long time. The shockwave does nothing. Delight has to flash, and now here comes the kiting. Out of Fred Brion, they're trying to ult in, and that one will miss, as Rascal is pretty slippery on the Viego. You can see, I mean, they use a lot to try to kill. Oh boy, Lava gonna have to flash that death sentence, as it absolutely would have been had he not. You can see what happens if you throw a lot of stuff into the Leona. We saw a bit of that from Genji in game 2 as well.
Just getting distracted by, you know, the pillar mist combination. When does Trundle Kiana come back, man?
Yeah, I'm ready.
As this is obviously a very proactive attempt here. That shockwave, a little bit late on the trigger or a little bit early, depending on how you look at it. Really nice dodge that comes through from Rascal here, because if he gets found out, it is basically over immediately. And then Lava getting greedy in the later part of that play for a little bit of focus Orianna when the fight is already done. Not really a necessity to find anything there, so didn't really have to give the flash there, unfortunately, for him. And we see both the power of Genji when they can find a pick, as well as why Fred and Brion comes needs to be respected. But unlike game number 2, Genji are looking a lot more respectful here, Valdez.
Okay, Hoya is going to dodge the sleep, and he really does not seem to care about the fact that there's no vision. The Scryer Bloom is going to help him out. And Clid will just back out of there. And yeah, I mean, we have this Mountain Drake coming up in a minute 20. Seems like both teams do want to make an aggressive, proactive move towards that Drake. A very even game so far in this one. Even splitting the Drakes. As Fred Brion kind of gave over the Ocean for some split push potential on the top side for that top turret.
And it's understandable, because for both these teams, vision is so important. I'd argue for Genji even more, as they are fully reliant on a lack of vision for their opponents to either find a big pick with the Zoe or the fresh hook, and because of their lack of engage, right? Like they can start fights somehow with a hook, with a sleep, but it's not really the most reliable way for Fred Brion. Arrow, Hoya, Delight, all going in. Like there's so many ways for them to start something off, so they're not as reliant. Which is why it makes so much sense that Genji is looking aggressively to take control. But then you're all back, and then any semblance of control that you did have now gets taken over again by Fred Brion. And now as Genji, you're the one walking into them, and that is not a good position to be in. Bot side of the river, though, is still open.
They're going to get their cleanse early here. Arrow is down for the rest of this fight, but I think they'll be okay with that, as okay, yeah, the bubble is going to land here, but no follow-up comes in from Genji. As you mentioned, they need a death sentence, a pillar, a sleepy trouble bubble, basically. Outside of poke from the Zoe, that's all you've got from Genji.
Oh, they got river control.
Now that they did, not the best position here for Fred Brion now. They're trying to rotate over to the bottom side by the blue buff. Mist is down, Spear's not really landing. They're all dodging as a team. It's now another hook onto the light, but that is just fine as they immediately blow up the Thresh, and he soaked so much of that damage, but Rascal is nearly able to get it done, but now the house hits him, and now we have the Gnar into the wall. Hoya, though, gets kited out by the Aphelios. As a shockwave follow-up here, Umpty thinking about it, still alive, still around. As a bit of damage comes out, no Paddle Star is coming in. I think Ruler, officially the scariest person by the end of that fight.
Oh, and that was a really nice reclaim of the control there from Genji. And hoping the replay we can highlight how they were able to actually get that back. But we go in a little bit later. This is where all the fireworks happen. It's Ruler. It's just Ruler. Rascal getting very low, using the tankiness of the Leona and just being a split second too late. Because if he does hit that ultimate and he stays alive here, then he is also able to pick up the Narsil, right? Unfortunately for Fred Brion, Lava, unlike last game, not very fed. That ultimate doesn't really provide them with as much, as it is mainly used for setup. At this point in time, really need a second item at the very least, close to the Saros, but not quite there yet. And we do see what happens if you clump up into Ruler. He says, yes, thank you. BDD also doing some heavy lifting throughout the rest of that skirmish. And if you can start off with an immediate pickoff, you see how good the Genji comp can be, right? And as mentioned previously, I thought the way that Raid took control of the river was very important, because if you just did face check into the threat recomp, it is not good. I think is the easiest
Yeah, you
way to
could
go about
even
it.
call it bad. Yeah.
I personally, I prefer to stay away from such strong terminology. But if you want to put it that way, then yes, I think bad would be accurate accurate nomenclature. Thank you very much. As Horizon
I thought you were about to
focused
say
on,
accurate numbers. I'm like, no.
we're talking about words.
That
Chronicler.
works.
Are you okay?
But yeah, I mean, a couple of big items were picked up here on the side of Fred Brion. They got the Horizon Focus online here for Umpty. Those spears are going to be even more devastating. And the Sarah's Brace from Lava going to finish off that Archangels and immediately pick up that item. And so I also feel like, especially singular Mountain Drakes, not the biggest deal in this game. Like, yes, it'll give you a bit more survivability. Yes, it's not bad. The Trundle is going to love it and stuff like this, but you know, if it were Infernals that were coming out here, we might have even seen a even more crazy clash or an even bigger swing in favor of one team if they do pick up one by one. But as it stands, I mean, the one mountain, yeah, it's going to be nice against some poke, but at the end of the day, I think it's really going to come down to team fight execution at this point.
Oh, this is guaranteed one of those games where it's like, the game is close, and then it's one team fight, and one team wins everything. So it feels like one of those Veldas. We've seen our fair share as, ooh, that's Mini Nah.
Yeah. This time, Rascal, you know, he's got his item spike as well.
Yeah, I think
A couple of items. Yeah, he's like, you want to go? I mean, sure. I'm not scared of you anymore. Equal on levels now, 3-1 is Rascal. Ahead on CS.
And also take note of the itemization of Clit here. And I actually think this is a really nice change. Would not be surprised if he also goes for Anathemas. Because one of the issues that you run into with this Gen D composition is that you can obviously face check with Life, but Life can't tank spears. If you get hit by an Umpty Spear, he is a very sad Thresh, and you really need the Thresh to provide so much more survivability to Ruler in your team fights. So by Clit going, what I assume, in a Spirit Visage into an Anathemas, put that on top of Umpty, it basically guarantees that they always have someone who can just tank the spears. And of course, if you want to avoid them. But especially in late game scenarios, might be scenarios where you're just kind of forced to just run into Umpty. And Clit will definitely be able to do that.
Yeah, it's important that they have some kind of front line.
Yeah.
No Scion in this game. But
unfortunately,
the Trundle will do a decent job of it.
Well, you're right. It's King's Tribute as well. Can then keep himself relatively topped up easily. As
yeah.
I thought that was gonna lead up to a miss. The way that was zooming in on it, considering it's...
I mean, Jonas Strong at this point, he's literally just zooming in on CS. Like, there's nothing to take away his CS, Lava, so he's not going to miss that. Henna is going to get immediately picked off here. He does not have Flash, and just like that, you guys see the power of Pillar. Yeah, so... can't really be there if you don't have the vision in the side brushes, is basically the end of that story.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was Ruler that actually set that up, right? Just finding a Gravitum ultimate. Kind of wondering how we got into that position, especially considering Ruler didn't flash. And I'm loving this response for Fred Brian. You're not going to contest the Drake.
Just the Pillar into the follow-up, but maybe we'll see a replay. There's nothing else happening.
I was about to say, what else are we going to see a replay of Veldas? And we also can't see live gameplay because, well, vaguely gesturing at the screen. Yeah.
All right, let's see it. Maybe it was the Gravitum.
Was it just the Pillar?
No, it's the Pillar into...
It's just the Pillar.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, now you're absolutely dead.
Man, what an ability.
It's incredible what it offers you. Because it's not just like a long-range slow or anything. It's also terrain, right? So there's a lot of different things that can interact with that. And you have to walk around it, right? You can't walk through the Pillar. So it becomes even more powerful. really trying to sell it.
No,
so
I know you. He's gonna get nerfed though. He's first.
Yeah,
He's generally champions like Trundle should not be first pickable. I think is a healthy approach to the game because they can be flexed into multiple roles.
Does Rascal care about Meganar?
No.
Seems like the answer is no, although of course Meganar, if the positioning is right, he can disengage.
Meganar also doesn't care about you. He's like, go away.
Uh-oh. This might be a dead Hoya. He's going to have to flash the wall. Here comes Heartbreaker, and yes, the flash will be enough to get him away. But you can see who's winning that side lane skirmish. It will almost always be Rascal. That is going to be a huge boon for Gen G here, as once again, Henna just hating his life, as here we go, the 3-man Moonlight Vigil with the Infernum. That's going to be a nice amount of damage. But again, there's nothing really happening here. There's no follow-up. It's 4 minutes until the Mountain Drake. So Fred and Brianna are like, okay, well, we survived, and nobody used a summoner spell. So
I get
that's
it.
Fine. Unless they want to engage. As, you know what? I guess killing the Thresh, we'll see if that's worth it. As the teleport is used here. And Rascal still has his. So I'm sure that Gen G, with their positioning in this game, I wouldn't be surprised if they are ready to throw down on a 4v5 here.
No, there's a Zoe. You're doing this in full vision.
Yeah.
Rascal can teleport in. I don't know about this one, Valdez.
Ooh, they're taking a risk, and they feel like they have to at this point in the game from behind. We'll see if it pays off. The teleport's in. We have Rascal on the left, and there's the turn. They're trying to get Clid, but they do not. They do not get Clid. Hoya has to go into the stopwatch, and now everybody on the side of Fred Brion's on the run, and you're up against Zoe, so good luck. It's, you know, we're back at the carnival. The darts are being thrown at the balloons, and that's the first one will be the orange one. The Gnar goes down, and we got even more follow-up coming in here. Thankfully, the minion's going to help out there. Now they're trying to turn it, actually. As Henna is flashing forward, he's like, you do not hurt me or my teammates ever again. As he will not be able to kill anyone, though. Lots of low health bars here. BDD, one last paddle star, not quite able to do it, but the flash coming in. The more sparkles, and now another turnaround, but Rascal's here, but he blows up immediately. Still not going to matter, as he's able to frontline for his team. And Fred Brion will have to run away, tail tucked between their legs.
That was a long skirmish there. Coming through, it started off with a kill on life. What felt like eternity ago. Oh! Boom!
Oh, man! All right.
Whoa.
I guess we're back at the carnival. I need to think of another metaphor.
I don't mind when it comes to...
I think it's appropriate with Nidalee in the game, especially.
Nidalee Zoe
Yeah.
does lead to those comparisons. Yeah, this call, as you pointed out, desperation from Fred Brion, right? They smell an opening, like, okay, we need to go all in on this. Unfortunately for them, Clid is a Trundle that's built tank outside of Summoner, so he doesn't die at all, especially because he used Subjugation there.
Subjugates, and he's like, yeah, come at me, bro.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Rascal going very aggressive here, and then what you can do as Gen G is just back off, but shenanigans ensue thanks to this really nice shockwave that's about, oh, never mind, there we go, to come through here. And Henna just flashing in aggressively the moment that Rascal walks forward, I think is really nice, realizing that the rest of the damage isn't fully there, and if you do get the reset at Viego, you're going to feel very good.
Oh.
But you got a little greedy for those resets, not quite working out the end. BDD, oh.
Got him. I swear, after every single kill, it's the Jin Air logo. Every single time for Umpty.
Has to be done.
Look at that pillar value. Just 4 people slowed around the pillar.
Didn't do anything, Bell.
What do you mean?
He just slowed them.
Yeah. It's a big, okay. A little bit aggressive here from Clid. Yes, he's tanky. And the poke is coming out in spades. Rascal is able to trade out a bit more onto Delight. And Henna's pretty low, too. Gets a gigantic heal from the Nidalee. What has he got, like 1,000 health? What is going on with that Ashe? And Umpty's actually keeping everybody alive, so, well, I don't know if you're going to be able to do
Pillar
a bad amount of
value.
poke, though.
I don't think you can. I think you need to either engage and get a kill, or you're in deep trouble. Teleport comes through here, BDD.
All right.
Fresh.
We're all in on this one. Clint is not able to pick it up. The solar flare is huge into the Gnar. Able to get one, but BDD up on the top side, and now they're able to kite front to back. Ruler's got some room as well, and they're just trying to get as much as possible on the rest of this fight here. Looks like Delight will go down. Rascal still on the chase. Zoya is able to get the double hop, and Umpty is getting a little bit frisky himself. And it is, at the end of the day, a 2-for-1 in favor of Gen G, but they're up a man. They lost the mountain, maybe thinking about this Baron now.
Ooh, and they can, but they have a similar issue that Fredabreon ran into earlier, and that's that Umpty's spears are disgustingly strong. Hasn't even bought his Magi's yet, but with Void, it is terrifying. There we go.
Look at the damage. Clint dies, but Umpty's getting low too, but he survives just barely. Oh man, and that's not going to be the Baron for you, Gen G. Not today. Not this time. Hoya's like, nobody is allowed to back here. Let me just stop this real quick.
This is a straight up movie, Val. That's the general saying, no, we will not lose this game. It's a final one of the year.
Yeah.
It must be one. Go forth, my troops. And it's working out. Those spears are just terrifying. And now you need to face check as Gen G. Rascal looking for a flank.
Oh man, they're just gonna go for it. And that's what you gotta do in a game like this. You just gotta throw down. Here we go. There's the poke coming out of lava. That is perfect. And just like that, Gen G say, sure, take the Baron. We can't stop you this time. And Fredabreon, they will not go down without a fight. Are we gonna have another upset here? It's kind of leaning that direction now with the Baron going to Fredabreon.
And again, it's Hoya. Oh no. Very happy with the Mountain Soul in this game. Welcoming the extra terrain. Not that he needed it, able to just throw them into the regular old wall there. And then, yeah, you get a kill on the light. That's nice, but it's not enough. This play by Umpty is just poor, because the arrow misses and it gives you the false sense of security.
Yeah. And he lives through this.
Yep.
He even gets hit by the Baron.
Doesn't matter. Even the extra damage, he just heals himself, and he's completely fine. Baron buff's available. Oh, Ruler. Bit of cleanse as well, but using that not really what you want.
Fredabreon are so aggressive now.
They need to.
They're really just trying to deny as much vision as possible. BDD's finding a bunch of nice paddle stars coming through. That's 3 in a row now. Another sleep onto Henna, as here's going to be the poke coming out. Grabbing him as well. Cleanse for safety. Keep in mind that Fredabreons are the one pushing with Baron buff as they're getting poked out by Ruler and BDD.
Yeah, with the amount of absurd poke available for Gen G, as is for Fredabreon, this could be one of those games where we keep going from stalemate to stalemate, because what happens is every time that either team gets a lead, even with Baron buff, you then have to walk into enemy territory.
BDD like missed like 3 cannons there. I'm sorry.
I wasn't.
I'm sorry I had to drag you into this, Chronicler, but please continue.
But now I'm feeling bad about that. You know, I was just,
okay.
I was about to sing the praises of BDD. His bubbles.
He's still deathless.
Yeah.
You still could absolutely pick up player of the game if Gen G win. If they win.
Well, Ruler's in this game as well.
True.
And has an almost perfect kill participation. Just general, his movement has been impeccable, but might still be BDD if he can find one of those big arrows. And Rascal, he's been okay on this Viego, but it's not the proper performance that we needed previously. 40 seconds, just need to hold on. If Gen G can weather this storm, they can go into this upcoming fight on relatively even footing, because that is going to be defined for the soul for Gen G, soul point for Fredabreon. But if your entire jungle is full of Fredabreon wards, I don't know if you can really go in, so they might want to really look for a pick. What can you do besides firing bubbles? Not a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there is some follow-up. It really relies on BDD to land a bubble into a Moonlight Vigil, which is hopefully grabbing him. And hopefully he doesn't have cleanse, and then Death Sentence comes up.
Yes.
It's basically what you're hoping for, especially on defense. On offense, there's some, you know, thread on some pillars. You can do some extra stuff like this.
Ooh, want to wait at the Magana, and then there is an opportunity for you to walk forward as GNG, but still need to respect so much.
The timing on that was big, but not able to capitalize on it. The spear's not landing, and Mountain Drake is incredibly important.
Ooh, if Umti hits that on BDD.
He's trying to zone them away. The pillar is down, and you see that Clint's trying to get in, but he can't. And that's not going to be anything. The play is huge, as they're not able to take down Hoya, but Delight nearly dies. And now Fred Brion's just on the run, looking to potentially turn it around, but not going to be easy to do so. Lava just dies. Where did he go? Zoe gameplay, everybody, and now on the chase here, you got a pillar that comes in and a lot of tools, but the teleport from the Gnar is coming in.
He's mini.
He's trying to build it up. He absolutely can if he gets a couple of autos. Has to hop away from this one. And it is opposite day. Red team's going left. Blue team is chasing them. Okay. Flash is used, not able. That is a fake one. Not able to follow up on that. Rascal trying to come around the back. Umti is going to find him here. Not necessarily winning that trade as they're trying to get the damage down into the Rascal, who has GA, as now they want to just engage on a ruler, but he cleanses back, and now he's able to go front to back, and they should have the damage now with the ruler in his safe spot. Umti's low, and I don't care how many stopwatches you have, it's not going to be enough. As BDD will get him over the wall, and that is going to be the kill. Handed over to Rascal. As Gen G, they may have just done it. They're teleporting mid.
Oh,
they will try to end
Lava!
this game.
He's teleporting mid as well.
Okay, you know, 1v1, maybe you can kite this out? Not quite.
He can. Yeah, because I think it was a split second after Rascal TP. Don't know if it was a vision, but obviously with an attempt to try and clear the wave. Because if you need to defend by yourself, it's a really hard sell, but with the death timers, 20 seconds on Hannah should be enough, and
they're not even going for the inhibitor.
Whoa, Chen-Chi really don't want to lose this one, because I think you could have gone that in it and not risk it, but they really just know we don't want to take any risk at all, and this is where it all starts, Valdez. As it
like
is
3 minutes ago.
Yeah, this was a very long. This is like, you know, I don't know how long chasing.
I read you guys a short story before Chronicler was able to talk again.
The story of Fred Brion and their retreat into enemy territory not quite working out the way that they were hoping for, because in the end, yeah, you get the re-engagement ruler, you need to do something, but he is Flash and Cleanse, uses those expertly, and then as a Fidels, it is just the optimal situation. But honestly, it's actually really smart what Fred Brion did here, because of them collectively pathing towards the base of Gen G spent upwards of 30 seconds just running mid, right? Like they needed to run basically from their own base, and now, oh, you lost that fight, it's Fred Brion, who cares? Right, he didn't lose anything. Yeah, some members are fed.
Yeah, remember they got the Mountain Drakes, so.
They did.
They're fine.
It's still not over, Valdez.
So much for the one and done. I guess not. Here we go. The Subjugate gets down, and everything that Fred Brion threw into the Trundle is for naught. As he doesn't care about any of your damage. He also has 2 Mountain Drakes. He's feeling pretty good. The spears are pretty nice, but again, Clit is incredibly tanky in this game. So every time it hits him, they'll be happy. As the damage is insane, the Aphelios is so fed in this game.
I don't know if they can.
Ooh, able to dodge the spears. That's one way to do it. Nice amount of damage with the Moonlight Vigil, but it's not enough to push them away. And now with the bubbles are down, Fred and Brion are thinking about an engage, but still the Baron will go the way.
Pillar?
The Pillar comes in, big shockwave now. Bit of damage coming in, but not quite able to engage. Good hook now onto Lava, but he survives as Henna's trying to kite it out desperately, but he has to get into the Pillar. And you never want to be between Genji and a Pillar. Ruler just able to do insane damage from optimal safety. And everybody on the side of Fred Brion will finally be going down. A valiant effort in their last game, but at the end of the day, it is a clean ace going the way of Genji.
Oh, that's about the best final game that you can hope for. A valiant effort, the best way to describe it there, from Fred Brion. But this was such an important win for Gen G. If you lose this game, if you get upset here, your chances that were already slim of locking in those top playoff spots, getting that bye, were basically non-existent. Or rather, they were non-existent if you lost this one. You're not allowed to, and they